Hello and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be starting with class relationships, and I think this might take more than one video, so this is just part one. So there are three class relationships that I want to talk about. The first one is association, the second aggregation, and the third composition. So first one's first. Let's look at association. So association, as the name suggests, means that two classes are associated to each other. Now, this association could be uh, one, many, 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 many. And an example of this is something like, let's say I have a parent class here. So, or let's say I have a husband class here, and I've got a, a wife class here. So, wife. So these two are associated to each other, and it's represented by just a line joining them. It should ideally be represented by arrowheads on both ends, but we don't normally do that. So it's just a straight line. And so an association means that uh, a bidirectional association, to be precise, means that we are able to navigate from either class to the other. So this means that the husband class will have something like a wife, let's say. So that's an attribute of the husband class. So that's an attribute right here. And similarly, the wife class will also have an attribute which is husband husband. So in this way, we are given a husband class, we are able to navigate to the wife class, and given a wife class, we are able to navigate to the husband class. So that's what association means. And associations could also be reflexive. So in some cases, a class could be related to itself via an association relation. And next up, we have aggregation. So aggregations are very similar to unidirectional association. There's very little difference between the two, so we're not going to be going into that right now. But like as I said, an aggregation is a unidirectional association. So I'll take this through an example. Let's say I have a spreadsheet class here. Let's say this is my spreadsheet, and I have a cell class here. This is my cell. So these two are related to each other by an aggregation relation, and it is represented by a diamond. Notice that this diamond needs to be empty because a filled diamond indicates a composition relation. So here, why I compared it to a unidirectional association is because here a spreadsheet keeps track of all the cells that are present in it. So a spreadsheet will probably have a cell array in it. So let's say it's called cell array, and this is an array of type. So this is an array of type cell. So the spreadsheet keeps track of what cells it has. However, each cell doesn't keep track of what spreadsheet it belongs to. So that's why I compare it to a unidirectional association. So an aggregation means that a spreadsheet is made up of multiple cells. So it is a part of an whole relation, you might say. At the same time, we are also going to look at composition, and composition is going to be something very similar. So what differentiates an aggregation from a composition is that in an aggregation, the uh, the classes have independent existence as well. So a spreadsheet cell might not be the best example here, because I don't think cells have an existence independent of spreadsheets. But let's say we have something like a file class, or let's say a folder class, and I have a file class. So I have a file class here. So this is definitely an aggregation relation, because files can exist independent of uh, folders as well. So this is an aggregation. And next one I want to look at is composition. So composition is it's just a special case of aggregation. So composition is just an aggregation where the classes don't have an independent existence. For example, like I said, spreadsheet and cell. A cell has no independent existence outside of a spreadsheet. So that's a composition relation. They're represented by something like this, a filled diamond, as I said. So this is a composition relation, and this could be something like spreadsheet, and this would be a cell. So a composition relation is also sometimes called uh, an ownership relation. So a spreadsheet owns the cells, and in this case, one point to remember is that the composing class composing class has uh, typically has typically has the same lifetime as the owner class. So a cell would only live as long as a spreadsheet lives, and as soon as we destroy a spreadsheet, we destroy all cells in it as well. So that's what a composition is. And I hope this clears some confusion as to how composition is different from aggregation. The most important point to remember in differentiating between composition versus aggregation is that independent existence. So in aggregation we have independent existence of the classes, and in composition we do not have independent existence of the classes. And I just wanted to point out another thing here, that a composition is a special case of aggregation. So every composition is more or less an aggregation, just as every square is a rectangle, something like that. So one question that comes to a lot of people is, say I have two classes. uh, so in a UML diagram, what relationship do I show between them? Do I show an association? Do I show an aggregation? Do I show a composition? Something like that. So the thing is, if we have a composition, we should show a composition, because a composition is among association, aggregation, and composition. A composition is the most specialized relationship. So we must show the most specialized relationship that exists between two classes. So if it's a composition, we definitely need to show a composition between them. If it's not a composition and an aggregation, that's when we would show an aggregation in the UML diagram. And if it's neither, that's when we'll probably show an association or a dependency, whichever one there is. So that's how we relate them. And of course, compositions and aggregations also have multiplicity. So if I have a diamond here, I could have one and star. uh, maybe in case of spreadsheet and cell, this could be true. A cell can only belong to one spreadsheet, and a spreadsheet can have as many cells as it wants, which could be zero as well. So I just want to point out a few things about multiplicity. So just a number means that that is the multiplicity of the class. A number, comma separated numbers mean that those are the options that we have, and something like a 1 to 5 would mean that the other class can have anything between 1 to 5 instances of this class, or it could more appropriately put, it could be related to 1 to 5 uh, instances of the class. And there can be something like 1 dot dot star. This means that there must be at least one relation, and after that there could be as many as required. So that's what a 1 dot dot star means. Just a star means it could be 0 or more, so it could be 0 as well. uh, so that's about the multiplicity right here. And just keep in mind that it's important to show the most show the most specialized relationship. And these aggregation or composition relationships will have little effect on the code itself as such, but uh, these are very good to represent in UML diagrams, because uh, if we give composition or aggregation relationships, then the diagram becomes very easy to understand, and we can understand the design of the project very well. So I think this should be it for these class relationships. There's more to talk about composition, and there's a very important principle as well, which talks about composition and inheritance, but I'll take that up in the next video. So stay tuned for that.